Picture, if you will, the end of the 18th century. France is in turmoil. The French Revolution has torn the country apart. The old order is disintegrating, swept away by radical ideals and bloody conflict. The once unassailable monarchy has been toppled, and in its place an uncertain republic teeters on the brink of chaos. Amidst this turbulence, a young Corsican, Napoleon Bonaparte, begins his meteoric rise. In this chaotic time, a young man from Corsica starts to make his mark. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon, a child of the Revolution, quickly ascends the ranks of the French army. Born in Corsica, amidst the Mediterranean, he was the second of 8 children in the Bonaparte family. His father, Charles Bonaparte, secured a scholarship for him at the age of 9 to study in France. Here, Napoleon was introduced to the French military education system, a world far removed from his humble beginnings. In his early years, he was known to be a voracious reader, particularly fond of the works of ancient military strategists. A keen mind coupled with a relentless spirit, Napoleon graduated from the École Militaire in Paris at the age of 16, becoming a second lieutenant in an artillery regiment. His rise in the army was meteoric. As the French Revolution tore through the nation, Napoleon saw opportunity amidst the chaos. His strategic brilliance and leadership skills propelled him through the ranks, and by 24, he was a brigadier general. Napoleon's military genius was becoming evident, and his first real test was about to come. As commander of the French army in Italy, Napoleon showcased his brilliant military tactics. From the get-go, he was a force to be reckoned with. The Italian campaign was a strategic masterstroke, a showcase of Napoleon's innovative approach to warfare. He was known for his ability to think on his feet, making bold moves that left his opponents scrambling. His tactics were revolutionary, focusing on speed, mobility, and surprise attacks. He would divide his forces, confusing and isolating his enemies, then strike with concentrated power. It was a game of chess, and Napoleon was always 3 steps ahead. His victories in Italy secured France's position as a dominant power in Europe and elevated Napoleon's status as a military genius. But these triumphs were merely stepping stones to greater ambitions. Napoleon was not one to rest on his laurels. His eyes were set on a bigger prize, and his journey towards it was just beginning. The Italian campaign was a triumph, but Napoleon's ambition didn't stop there. In 1799, Napoleon seized power in a coup, becoming the first consul of France. This event, known as the Brumaire Coup, was a pivotal moment in Napoleon's rise to power. The coup saw Napoleon and his allies, Abbé Sieyès and Pierre-Roger Ducos, overthrow the French Directory, a 5-member committee which had governed France since 1795. The coup was executed under the cover of a specially convened legislative session, which Napoleon used to disband the Directory and establish a new government under his control. As the first consul, Napoleon's powers were almost absolute. He began implementing a series of reforms, reorganizing the government, modernizing the economy, and overhauling the legal system. These changes not only consolidated his power but also helped to stabilize France after the tumultuous years of the Revolution. Napoleon was now the ruler of France, but he had his sights set on something greater. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French, a title that came with a Grande Armée. The coronation ceremony was a sight to behold. Paris was alive with splendor, pomp, and pageantry, the likes of which hadn't been seen since the days of the French monarchy. Napoleon, ever the master of spectacle, orchestrated the entire event down to the last detail. He even took the crown from the Pope's hands and placed it on his own head, signaling his supreme authority. Alongside his coronation, Napoleon formed the Grande Armée, a massive military force that would go on to dominate Europe. The Grande Armée was a testament to Napoleon's strategic genius, featuring a combination of seasoned veterans and young, eager recruits, all under the command of hand-picked officers. It was this formidable force that would lead Napoleon to his greatest victories and most crushing defeats. Napoleon was at the peak of his power, but his downfall was closer than he thought. The Russian campaign was a disaster. Napoleon was forced to abdicate and sent into exile. The grandeur of the Napoleonic era was tarnished by one fatal misstep. The Russian campaign, a venture conceived out of Napoleon's ambition, proved to be his downfall. A harsh winter and tactical errors led to the catastrophic retreat of the Grande Armée, once the pride of France, now a symbol of defeat. In the aftermath, Napoleon faced mounting political and military pressures at home. His once unshakable authority was now in question, leading to a series of events that would push him towards abdication. In April of 1814, Napoleon relinquished his throne, a move that marked the end of his reign as Emperor of the French. But this was not the end of Napoleon's story. With the title of emperor stripped from him, he was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean. Once the ruler of a vast empire, Napoleon was now sovereign of a tiny island, a shadow of his former self. Napoleon's downfall was a dramatic shift in the course of history, a testament to the fickle nature of power and the consequences of overreach. Yet, even in his exile and subsequent death, Napoleon left an indelible mark on the world. Napoleon, once the ruler of a vast empire, died in exile on a remote island. His legacy, however, lives on.